welcome to Ferrum Football First and 10. I'm your host, Taylor Chitwood, alongside my co-host, Brandon Roberts. And Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's good to be here, guys.
Before we start anything else, wild last 4 or 5 minutes there in that game. We punch in when we have to, kick the extra point to tie. We decided to go for 2. Was that a decision that was already made, or did we scored, or was that in the game plan? Or
Yeah, you can't make those decisions right at that because there's too many moving parts to get the right people on the field. So I'd kind of made up in my mind if we do what I thought we'd do, and knowing that you're going to kick the ball into the black hole if you kick it off to them and never get the ball again. And overtime is overtime. You still got to make a play, so let's make it right now and put some pressure on them. And one way or another, just went down, thought we had the right call on, and certainly didn't get the results we were looking for.
A little bit of dirty laundry on the field after that play. Was there any explanation that you got? I know there was a lot of discussion between all the referees. The play or the flag did stand. Did you get any kind of explanation on that, or?
Not much, and that's what's frustrating on my end is I just want some explanation on what I didn't see as being a call that should have been made or could have been made, and didn't get one.
So Coach, at the end of the game right there, we all were watching. 2 seconds left on the clock. We saw you run over to the side of the referee right next to him, and you were calling timeout, trying to ice the kicker.
The same guy who threw the dirty laundry, mind you.
The same guy, yes. So did he give you any reason why he didn't grant the timeout? Did he not see you? Did he not hear you?
At the end of the game, I questioned him, and he said that he didn't hear me. And I said, well, you looked at me. But that play, the kid still had to make the kick. I'm kind of back and forth about the icing and all that, but he had missed 2. So I thought at that point, try to make him think about those 2 he missed earlier in the game would maybe be the best call, and went for the timeout. And whether logistically I needed to do something different to get his attention or make sure he understood my intentions. I don't know what I was supposed to do other than what I did, but I guess I got to do something better because I didn't get it across to him. But on that play, the kid's got to kick it. He did a great job. They won the game at that point, and you got to give them credit for that. So it just a bit frustrating down the stretch in a tight ball game, and it's a lot at stake, and we just didn't do enough things throughout the 60 minutes to not come down to those critical plays, which obviously didn't turn out in our favor.
And again, we don't want to take any away from W now. They played a heck of a game. They did come out on top 38-35. 452 yards on the ground. They had the ball for 38 minutes.
They had it forever, right?
They did.
And but hey, hats off to us for battling back.
Yeah, but you didn't say we scored 3 touchdowns and only had it for 2.5 minutes in the second quarter. You could spin it positively.
Oh, look, see, positives on both sides.
But, yeah, they, what they do in controlling the ball and creating short chains and extending drives it's no secret. We just didn't do enough to get the ball back, and we had some explosive touchdowns, which turns the, it's positive, but it's negative. Now you're back on the field playing defense after a long touchdown pass or run that Brian and AP scored, and including the long kickoff returns. We had 3 very explosive plays in our favor, and you need them because you got to match some points. But the negative side of it is you don't have the ball very long, and your defense is back out there, and they battled for 60 minutes, but just didn't have enough that night.
Pennington came up big for us there in the second half.
No doubt.
Coming out of the backfield, we handed it off to him a few times. He came on the swing a little bit and got the ball there. He had that reception right there.
So, Coach, you talk about the time of possession and everything like that. We have 4:52 remaining on the clock, and we score a touchdown right there. Brian breaks off a big run. As a spectator, in our minds, the way the game was going, we thought that, okay, we see a touchdown right there, uh-oh. We don't think that, it's been a shootout all game, We think that maybe Washington Lee's offense might be able to drive down the field and get the job done. As a defense, what were your mindsets right there? What were y'all thinking? Were y'all thinking, let's go get a 3 and out, get the ball back? Were y'all thinking, let's just try to stop them, keep them, maybe send us to overtime?
Well, any of the above would be better than what happened. So, to your point, you're battling that all night long. In 2 plays, we had them at 3rd and 7, which you don't get very often on that ensuing drive. And, critical play was the 3rd down conversion they had early in that last drive that they had, which would have resulted in them having to punt, and to be honest with you. And again, to their credit, they converted a 3rd and 7. Thought we had the right call on, and they out-executed us. And that was a deflating play because that was the big opportunity in that drive for us to get them off the field, make them punt, and see if we could, turn the tide and go down and, take the win. But, again, they did what they had to do, put themselves in a position to win, and they got to get the credit for that. So.
Moving forward to Hampden-Sydney now, they come in at 3-3, 3-1 in the ODAC. Their lone loss to Shenandoah, who we did come out on top of a few weeks ago. They're averaging 321 yards a game. They are giving up 155 on the ground, which kind of plays into our strength. They do have a large passing attack, though, just over 400 yards a game. And they like to use the running back from Franklin County, Caleb Smith, both ways. He averages 87 on the ground and 97 receiving.
Yep.
Any adjustments there on either side? Are we trying to hang on to the ball more? Are we, going to keep it largely on the ground, or are we confident in our defense to be able to stay out there, or any adjustments moving forward?
Well, you'd hope you're not out there for 38 more minutes. I mean, that's obviously not the game plan going into any game, but they've got a dynamic. They're really a tale of two halves of their season. And if you look at their record and you look at some of the stats, it's kind of skewed because it took them a few weeks to get their legs under them, if you will. And the Cobb kid's a senior, played a lot of football and really playing well at the quarterback position. Obviously, I wouldn't look at Caleb as a freshman anymore. He's going into his 7th game, and he's really figured some things out. And Coach Favrett's as good as I've coached against at finding weaknesses and trying to execute and getting the ball into his playmakers' hands. And we certainly got our hands full this Saturday, but it's what we signed up for, and we're excited to get ready for another contest.
So, Coach, doesn't look like we really have a great shot to win the ODAC this year.
Really?
It doesn't. It doesn't really look like it. So,
you guys are on top of your game.
We're
today.
on top of it. We're on top of it. So, looking ahead to these next few games, got a couple ODAC games going on. What do they mean to not just you guys as coaching staff, but to the players as well? To some of the seniors that are in here, even the juniors that are good friends with the seniors. What does it mean to these players? Because they're not really playing for an ODAC championship anymore. So what do you think that it's going to mean to them?
No, we don't. I mean, honestly, I don't talk about those big picture items. And obviously, there are things that you covet and things that you want. But there's one champion out of 8 schools. So, I mean, those percentages aren't great. And you've got to take care of week by week and let those things stack up and become something bigger. And we talk all the time about little things make big things. Well, and what you're talking about, a big thing is winning the conference. Well, there's little things you need to do along the way in order to get there that we just haven't done over the course of the 6 games, particularly those 4 in conference. And that doesn't change our mentality and our mindset, and I don't think our players either. They're just to covet an opportunity to play together, to play in this great game is something we talk about, and the results are the results. But it's the process, it's the team, and it's all the things that are important to us that add up. And I think we've got a resilient team. And you don't need to talk about the bigger picture things. We're all pretty tuned in to where we are, and we need to have a great week. And like I said earlier, I mean we've got 10 one-game seasons, and that's really how players and coaches, and that's how you got to approach it. If you try to get too far outside of that, you're going to struggle. And if you're trying to hone in on kind of where you are, you're going to get caved in on, and you've got to go to the next opponent. And I've said, Hampden-Sydney really doesn't care what our record is; they just want to beat us. And neither should we. We just want to beat them, and we got to do things Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in order to do that. And I thought we had a pretty good Monday, Tuesday. We got to have a great Wednesday to capitalize on being prepared for a great team. And the end result is uncertain, but that's why we do. That should give you the juice. I mean, if you knew all those results and championships and wins and losses, kids wouldn't work as hard, they wouldn't train as hard, and coaches wouldn't coach as hard. So I don't think it's a small secret there about where we are, but we're going to show up and we're going to play hard and we're going to put it out there for 60. And if people hadn't figured that out by now, then they haven't been watching. Football.
You're exactly right. They have not been watching. This Saturday on campus is a busy day. Fan Appreciation Day, $5 tickets all around for everybody. Kickoff is at 2 o'clock. We have the Blue Ridge Folklife Festival going on campus. First time ever that a football game has fallen on
Ever?
on campus, yes. That it's ever happened.
First time since I've been here. That's only 3 years, but that's,
So does that make any kind of difference to you with everybody being on campus or?
no, just for us, it's the process, and we're trying to accommodate Hampden-Sydney getting here, without having too big of an issue with the traffic and the flood of people. I mean, that's really the only thing that we've addressed with our administration to make sure, we're communicating with Coach Favret and those folks to get them here in a good manner so we can be a good host. But should be an active day on campus, and we're looking forward to the kickoff.
Well, that'll do it for this show. Next show is going to be October 31st, Halloween. I'm your host, Taylor Chitwood, co-host Brandon Roberts, and Coach Grande. Good luck Saturday.
Appreciate it.